And welcome to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We are here at
the fabulous Arizona Center on Hump Day.
Humpity Hump Day.
Indeed it is. And so, let's start off with removal of yesterday's word and...
which we hated again.
Awkward sentence. Hopefully this one... Oh, this actually... Stalwart.
Stalwart. We know that one.
Exactly. Marked by outstanding strength and vigor of body, mind, and spirit. The sentence is, the senator has been a stalwart defender of human rights throughout her political career. That's a very good sentence.
I approve. We approve.
Indeed.
We finally got one. Day 3 for the win. Stalwart.
Oh.
All right. We invite you to use that in your everyday conversations today.
Yeah, as opposed to Kamov.
Just forget about Kamov.
Yeah.
I already have. I don't even remember what Kamov. Oh wait, was that the violent movement one?
Okay. Yeah, or excite to passion.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Interchangeably.
Indeed. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we have a super special guest coming up right after this.
Oh boy.
Woohoo! Welcome back to the morning show on this Wednesday. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here at the
fabulous Arizona Center. And we are just happy you're joining us.
We sure are.
Yeah.
It's a pretty great, are we on hump day? Is it a hump day?
It is indeed a hump day because it's Wednesday.
You should be dancing more.
I know.
Why are you not more excited?
Well, because we don't have a camel. If we had a camel, then I could get on the camel for hump day.
So excitement's reserved until the camel arrives.
Yeah.
All right.
So, let's see you in the mini horse.
Producers, make a note of that.
Well, exactly, because you want a mini horse. I would be happy with a camel.
What? The camel would be a lot more work than my mini horse. I don't know why you're acting like you're making the concession here.
I think anything with 4 legs we have to feed and clean up after would be...
Touche. All right, well, we are joined today on this fabulous hump day that Marshall's not too excited about because he doesn't have a camel, by voice actor.
Okay. See, there's your camel.
Yeah.
There you go.
We've got Adam Bullock here. Hello, Adam. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for inviting me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Adam, for those that don't know, that maybe aren't super familiar with your field and the industry that we are in, media and entertainment, just say exactly what a voice actor does. 101.
Well, a voice actor is anyone that records their voice for anything such as animation, cartoons, commercials, radio, movie promos, you name it. Because we were always on our phones constantly, right. And we're always seeing those darn ads or watching this endless videos online. And often enough, even if you don't see the person doing the voice, that is a voice actor. Because that's how I really discovered what voice acting was years ago, was that, I was just watching some behind the scenes features of like some DVDs. I don't know what movie, but it was a great movie. But I saw these men and women in a recording studio. And at that point, it's like my high school days, I was like, wait, that's a voice actor? Because I knew what an actor was, like we're doing right now, we're on camera. But I didn't know that's how that was another form of acting that could be done today. So, that's essentially voice acting.
So how did you end up landing in voice acting?
Good story. Well, originally I wanted to get started back when I was in my high school days. It was like 16, 17. That's why I said I discovered what voiceover was, because I was obsessed over this behind the scenes features of DVDs and movies. But really, I wanted to pursue it back then, but because self-doubt, like most kids do back then, I didn't pursue it for almost 10, 15 years. And it wasn't until around 2015 or so, I was like, well, I quit that job, I did that thing, I'm not happy. What makes me happy? And after really thinking about it and reflecting on it, I realized that creativity was my passion, was my thing. And after really thinking about it and really contemplating it, I'm like, well, of all the creative things I've done in my past, I thought that, well, maybe I should try pursuing voiceover again. I doubted myself, but I just wanted to get back into it. So back in around 2016, got back into training, coaching, learning all about the thing I wanted to do all over again. And then since then, just been getting into the business. And it is a fun business, but you have to be good at one thing, and that's acting. That's, I mean, it's a requirement these days.
Yeah.
And you have a good voice.
Of course.
So, indeed.
Yes.
So, okay, I'm going to ask, because I've been an actor for a very long time, but I've never done voice acting.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm curious, when you are doing a job as a voice actor, are you watching the thing that you're speaking as it's happening? Is that how it usually works?
That's one form of voice acting. It's more along the lines of like ADR or dubbing.
Okay.
So that's where if you see anything on the behind the scenes features of movies or see things on the internet, typically, if you see that voice actor is looking at a screen while they're recording something in the recording studio, typically they're going to, it's going to go like boop, 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 kind of like count down, and then they have to match the lip flaps of whatever character or person is on that screen at that exact same timing, and that can be very hard.
Yeah.
A lot of people that want to get into voice acting are obsessed over anime, which is like Japanese animation, which is very popular with the young crowd. But that's one form of character acting.
Right.
And then there's like mainstream Hollywood stuff like, The Simpsons or Family Guy and that kind of stuff, which is a little bit more fluid. And you don't have to always match it up.
Okay.
But they sometimes do, ADR, audio, I forget what it's called, but just audio replacement of the voice to help match it up. Okay. But I mean, no, it's so vast. But I mean, I hope that explains.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of, I'm like, okay, let's say you're doing a cartoon character, and it's like, how does that? Yeah, I just never thought like chicken or the egg. Like, what comes first? Like, do you lay down the lines and then they animate it, or like, is it already done and then you're?
Sometimes it is done, but most times they do storyboarding first, then they'll do what's called an animatic, which is kind of like a choppy form of like a black and white, almost looks like drawings, and then maybe they'll help with the animation process. But more times than none, they will animate to the voice. So sometimes when you see, like, say, Disney, like if they have a famous celebrity on their movies, they will sometimes try animating and designing the character that's closely resembling the actual celebrity to match with what they're doing with their body emotions. And when you actually watch the character and they actually watch the actor, you're like, oh, wait, they're so similar. But it's because they're just looking at it at the same time.
Yeah, okay. So do you have a specialty? Like, what's your thing?
Well, my thing is, there are many forms of voice acting. There's like commercial, there's audiobooks, there's e-learning, there's telephone systems. But, for me, I'm open to doing all kinds of voice acting. But the one that I have most pride in is doing character work. Okay. As obviously as you can clearly see behind me, these are some of the past stuff I've done over the last few years or so. Still expanding, some things I can't talk about. But character work has always been my passion because, ever since I was a little kid, I watched these folks that are now have done the business for 40 or 50 years, and they made such an impact on me,
right.
That's kind of the reason why I want to pursue it, because if they can make such a big impact on my life, why can't I do that for other people? Because most people these days, when they pursue a career, they may have an impact on a couple hundred people or more. But what if, you could actually impact millions of people, not just a couple hundred, without even knowing it?
Yeah.
And that's why I love, character acting, because I've done stuff for like the Arizona Renaissance Festival, which is going on right now. Get your tickets. We got one more month happening. I've worked in the haunted house industry. I've done puppetry. And now with all those skills I got from those things, that's what helped me be a better character actor to make these characters come to life. Because if it sounds like you're reading when you're performing the script, no one's going to hire you.
Right.
But that's why we love these characters like Bugs Bunny and all that. Because
Mel Blanc.
Oh my exactly.
Gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we fell in love with it, because he made it believable, because he was having fun, but he's also a good actor.
Right. Yeah. So I hear you have your own production studio.
Yes, I do. It's called ABV Productions. I've been starting to do that the last couple years because with the transition of Hollywood these days, it seems to be that going the independent route is more viable than trying mainstream Hollywood. Because as you guys may have talked about on the show or not, Hollywood's changing, crumbling, reforming into hopefully something good, but these days it's not. So we found that, when I say me, it's like me and my colleagues have found that, well, why don't you just create your own stuff? And lo and behold, you can create your own success. You know, like look at if there's like a show that kids are obsessed over. It's called like Hell of a Boss, or it's Has Been Hotel. It's like the #1 like adult animated cartoon that started as an independent project, but through crowdfunding and growing a big growing fan base because they started like on YouTube. All of a sudden one day they get picked up by Amazon, and boom, they're like the #1 adult cartoon. So it's like if they can do it that route, why can't I do it on that route? Because like with my little production company, I'm starting to grow, and I don't have a website just yet, but stay tuned to my social medias for an announcement about that. I specialize in, you know, podcasting and animated, cartoons for TV and short form content. I mean, there's some animated projects I can't talk about right now, but good things are happening with that. I will say is there's a great podcast I currently am developing that does feature voice actors, character actors, and animators called Just Say Hello on all podcast streaming platforms. So if you love podcasting, definitely check it out today.
Very cool. Now you just said to keep an eye on your socials.
Yes.
What is your social handle?
So on most social media platforms, you can look at Adam Bullock VO. And just find me on there, and I'm sure they're going to list it right below the screen, just right there. You can also look it up at www.adambullockvo.com for more information about me and everything else that I do.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Adam. It was so cool learning from you about what you do and about how your industry works. Please do give him a follow. Keep an eye out for updates on his production company and new works that are hopefully going to be coming out soon.
Oh, you'll see.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this with things to do, celebrations, all our good stuff.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And happy Hump Day. We are happy you're joining us here on The Morning Show. I'm Marshall Shore.
I'm Melissa Farley, and we are here at the
Fabulous Arizona Center.
Oh, that one got jazzy on you.
That one did.
Okay.
Well, because the caffeine's kicking in from, yeah. So.
And here I can't stop yawning. I'm like, hello.
Well, I also just been on the sinus medication that I'm taking.
Well, that'll do it.
Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
But in the show, who knows what I'm going to be doing?
I know.
Riding that camel.
I never know what you're going to be doing.
Riding that camel for Hump Day.
It's always a surprise.
So, all right. So let's talk a little bit of history.
Let's do it.
All right, so I don't know about you, but it's like with spring's getting closer and closer, it's like the whole idea of spring cleaning.
Yeah.
Getting out there, just making sure everything's spick and span. On this date, back in 1906, up in Wickenburg, way out Wickenburg Way, they scheduled a spring house cleaning week. And it was when all the men were supposed to go cut the weeds, drag stones out of the streets, and the women would serve them dinner.
Oh boy.
And I thought, what a lovely photo of some folks.
That is a cool photo.
So I was like, oh, what a nice photo of serving dinner out on the street. So well, there you go.
I guess I would rather serve dinner than like haul trash and rocks and things. So.
Completely. Yeah.
I won't complain. That's fine. All right.
Right.
All right. Yeah, I have been getting an urge to spring clean, oddly enough. I'm like...
I've been kind of dusting some small things.
But I also sometimes feel like that's a part of my procrastination process. Like, when I have stuff that I really need to do for work, I'll be like, I'm just going to organize my closet for 3 hours.
Yeah, no, I do that as well, but...
Yeah, so, I don't know.
And there's a famous saying, Quentin Cruz said, when you don't dust for 7 years, it stops accumulating. But that's not true.
I was like, I don't think he's lived in Arizona.
So at one point it was so funny. So we had this spider in the bathroom that had been hanging there for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And it finally got so heavy that the little rubber spider fell. And it looked like a live spider because it had all this dust all over it, like literally 20 years of dust.
That's funny.
It's like, so I washed it off and good as new.
Well, here, I'll beat you. So for Halloween, a lot of times I put like those gel clings on my windows.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if they're just like stars or moons or something cute and not Halloween-y, a lot of times I'll just like move them up in the corners of the windows. Well, it must have gotten really hot and they started to melt and like drip down. And you know, the little like gnats, like all these little gnats started like getting stuck.
Oh my gosh, it was like flypaper, but but pretty flypaper.
It's like, well.
Stained glass of death.
I know.
Aww.
Anyway, okay. So yeah, spring cleaning. Don't be like us. Clean your houses.
So yes, exactly. Yeah. And you might want to dust some things once in a while.
Yeah, especially in Arizona, like stuff gets dusty so fast.
Good gosh, it's crazy how quickly things get dusty.
I know. My mother would be so disappointed at my level of dust, but that's okay. All right, Mother, this one's for you. Let's celebrate some stuff instead.
Woohoo! All right, so today is Read to Me Day.
Well, that's a fun day.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, it's all to focus on really, it's like reading with kids, and really even 10 minutes or an hour, whatever, just pretty much just reading to them can be so important for language development, that love of reading, love of learning, things like that. So
I love that. Yeah, take a few minutes and read a story to your child today. And if you're an adult, ask your partner. You guys could read poetry to each other or something kind of sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, and it really is just kind of that sharing, and who doesn't love a good story time?
I certainly do.
I mean, as a librarian, it was like, and you know, it didn't even matter. We had so many parents who are like, well, my English isn't that good. The kids don't care.
Yeah, no.
It's not about just the one language or anything. Right. It's just whatever language, it's just that really sharing the language, whatever that language may be.
Yep.
And so important.
So important.
Indeed. All right. And then it is Laugh Day.
Laugh Day?
Exactly.
Well, we laugh every day we're together.
We do indeed. And it's all because, you know, there are so many healthy benefits from laughter. Now, ways you could celebrate. Maybe you want to go watch a comedy. Maybe. And things to do. There might be a comedy show.
A stand-up.
Could be a stand-up or a sit-down.
Yeah. Or sit down. I prefer to sit while I laugh. Thank you.
Right, exactly. And, you know, and laughter releases endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals. So who doesn't love to laugh?
Pat and I were talking about how, because we're both on our second marriage, you know, and he was like, you know, I never laughed this much in my first marriage. I was like, I know, I thought about that before too. Like, we have a lot of laughter in our house, and I think it's so good for us. I'm so thankful
completely.
for that.
I mean, if you can't laugh at yourself and at everyone around you, then, which I never do. No. Very serious. I'm always serious. All right. Then, okay, so you go to the grocery store.
Yes.
What's the first thing that happens when you walk up to the grocery store?
The door opens?
Yes. It is automatic door. It is automatic door day.
Okay.
So, and I thought it was interesting because I was like, you know, thinking about it, it's like, you know, it's for health reasons, it's for environment, so that way. But I thought it was interesting. It's like now, so many cars, and it's like you see where you just like press the button, the door opens, and so now it's no longer just for stores; it's for your car. It's like it just.
It's true. I know.
I was like, automatic doors are everywhere, and
sooner or later we'll evolve to not need arms. We'll just as long as you can push a button, like you could have little nubs.
Well, that's what you got nose for. You just hit the button.
Oh, I'm not texting with my nose. No, that's not happening. But by then they'll have chips that read our brain, and we'll just
exactly.
Be able to think
And then then you won't even. You'll just like open the door. Poof,
so we'll have little nub arms and telepathic.
So we'll look like the people off of Star Trek with the big heads.
That would be weird.
And the big white gowns.
I kind of want to watch WALL-E now. Did you ever watch WALL-E?
Indeed, WALL-E.
They didn't have little nub arms, but it just our conversation makes me think of that.
And then our last thing to celebrate is Backyard Day.
Backyard Day. Just go play in the backyard.
So go hang out in your backyard, bring some friends.
You know, you might as well before it gets horribly, horribly hot.
Well, that's why I thought it was good now, because I was like, well, actually somebody must live in Arizona that said.
Do it now.
Do it, yeah, because if you say, hey, let's go hang out in the backyard in June, maybe not.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Right, it's like I don't like to melt.
Nope.
So, but whether it's barbecues, maybe I'll play some bocce ball, croquet.
I do love barbecuing when the weather's nice. That's a really lovely way to spend an evening.
Indeed, it's a great way to just kind of get away from the busyness of life, hanging out in your backyard with friends, sharing a glass of wine or something stronger.
Than wine?
Yeah. Maybe a little whiskey.
Yeah. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Well, if you get bored hanging out in your backyard, let's talk about some things you can do outside of your house. So we are taking a trip to AJ. It's not just the Renaissance Festival happening way out that way.
Oh, wow.
We've got a #1 hits variety show happening at Barlean's Dinner Show, and that is, of course, in Apache Junction. You can get ready to tap your toes, sing along, and relive the magic of music greatest hits. The #1 hits variety show is set to dazzle, and you won't want to miss it. So this is going to be some of the most popular, kind of iconic chart toppers from the 1950s through the 1990s. And it's spanning a ton of musical genres. There's going to be ballads and instrumentals. And there's going to be a really great cast that's taking you on this musical journey. So
Fun.
Doors open at 5:50. This is my kind of event. 5:15, doors open. Dinner is at 6, show is at 7. You're out of there by 9:30. It's beautiful.
Wow.
$52 for dinner and a show.
There you go.
All right, and we've also got pirate adventures happening in, Dylan, how do you pronounce this? Because we keep putting this in here, and I avoid saying it.
Tyrannosaurus, I guess.
So it's like the dinosaur, but spelled different?
Yeah.
Okay. Tyrannosaurus, but it's spelled with a T-O-R-U-S at the end, which is why it's weird, right? That's weird.
Oh, yeah. No, because every time we look, it's like, I don't know what that is.
I know. Okay, so anyway, pirate adventures at Tyrannosaurus.
But not pirates and dinosaurs, just pirates.
Just pirates.
Okay.
In Mesa. So basically, it's a class where school-aged kids can learn about the real Pirates of the Caribbean, not Jack Sparrow and the Disney pirates, but the real pirates of the Caribbean, discover the golden age of piracy, debunk common myths about pirates, and then embark on a thrilling scavenger hunt to find some buried treasure. So there is limited space for this swashbuckling adventure. Yeah, I said swashbuckling. It's swashbuckling. I don't know why I said
Swashbuckling with
swak.
an eye patch and a peg leg and a parrot.
It's $25 for those school-age kids, and it's going to start at 10 a.m. So it sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great idea. It's like, the kids are out of school,
It
so
is, yeah.
send them off to become a pirate.
Yeah.
Maybe a new career option.
You know they're going to come home and want you to talk like a pirate for the rest of the day, though. So there's that to contend with, but
Yeah.
that's okay. Just drink
My
some
God,
rum while you're waiting for them
Or
to
take them to
come
Long
home.
John Silver's.
Yeah. Long John Silver's, some rum. Sounds like a great day. We've also got another dinner show. It's dinner and live music, Painted Soul at the Forum Complex in Chandler at 5 p.m. So it's Desiree and Damon White presenting the sensational and soulful sounds of Painted Soul. There is no cover for this show, but it is 21 and over. And again, doors open at 5 and go till about 10 p.m. tonight.
Fun.
Yep. Okay, we've got March Madness going down. The first 4 watch party at Skysail Rooftop Lounge in Tempe. So, the madness officially tips off at the Rooftop Lounge, and you can basically watch on their big screens. It's a really great view. I've actually been up there. It's a really great skyline view of Tempe. They'll have some game day food specials, drink specials, all that good stuff to keep you fueled. There's no cover, and things are going down from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then we've also got a sewing club meetup. The So Smart Sewing Club is happening at the Peoria Main Library at 10 a.m. You can join in on Wednesdays for fun, laughter, and of course, a little bit of sewing. You can use your machines or bring your own, and they are asking that this is for experienced adult sewers only. So 18 plus sewers. Sounds kind of, I don't know. More
Well,
fun
I
that
think
way.
it's not like how to use your machine.
Yeah, no, it's
Here's
not
how
like
you
a
thread the
tutorial.
needle. But I have to give kudos to Dylan because I love the fact we're pushing so many library programs.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, they're the ones that have stuff going on during the weekdays. So,
Indeed.
but it is free to attend. It's from 10 a.m. to 1. So if you fall in that 18 and over experienced sewer category, come on down.
That's right. And you could sew and make and who knows what.
Whatever your little heart desires.
A pirate outfit. So
That's
that way
right.
then you could take your kids to Pirate
There
Day.
you go. Yeah.
Arr.
We've planned your whole day.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
There you go. All right, so let's do some birthdays.
Wake up, it's your birthday. Jump up, go have a great day. Everyone has come to see you. Make a wish and hope it comes true.
All right, so when people think of the Old West, you think Arizona. Probably one of the biggest names that people think about is the name Wyatt Earp.
That's probably true. Yeah.
And so today's his birthday.
Oh.
So back in 1881, Earp and his brothers Morgan Virgil Earp, together with Doc Holliday, had a yes.
Just the way you said Earp reminded me of a little chicken chirp.
No.
Earp.
Well, it is. It's Earp.
No, I know.
I was like, "What's he doing?" But basically, the four of them faced off with the Clayton gang. 3 of the Clayton gang were killed. Morgan, Virgil, and Doc were both injured, and that OK Corral gunfight is what made Tombstone famous.
It sure did.
It did indeed, and you can go see any day. They do reenactments of it.
They do it every day?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and someone else who's having a birthday today, she is 77, Glenn Close.
Woo!
I mean, you've seen her in The Big Chill, The Natural, Fatal Attraction, Cruella de Vil in Disney.
Yeah.
As talking about voiceover acting, it's
Yeah.
like, there you go. As well as one of my favorites, Dangerous Liaisons.
Dangerous Liaisons. That was a good one. Yeah.
It's like the other day we had, what was it, Embarrassing Awkward Moments?
Yes.
So I went to go see that movie with somebody. I found out a while later that it was a date.
Oh.
And I had no clue.
Surprise.
Surprise!
Yeah.
So,
I guess the date didn't go very well.
so she is turning 77 years old.
Your date?
Well, now maybe, I don't know. It's like, that's been a while. So, also having a birthday today is Bruce Willis.
Oh.
So, you know him from The Sixth Sense, Sin City, and Pulp Fiction, and Armageddon. And of course, Die Hard.
Die Hard. Happy birthday, Bruce. I wonder how he's doing. I haven't seen an update lately.
I know, I haven't seen anything either. So, and then following up, she's 61. One of my favorite comedians, Mary Shear.
Mary Shears.
So she was on Mad TV years ago. She was also in iCarly, as well as, I'm kind of embarrassed to say that I would watch this.
What?
Disney's Bunked. Just because, because it was Mary Shear. And I love the photo that I
watched
found
it
of
too.
her. Oh my, it's such a stupid show.
I know it is.
But it was good. It was very good to laugh with.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and Mary Shear, I love the photo, was her and Phyllis Diller. And she was another character, Dixie Wexworth, who was a hoot in her own right from those days on Mad TV. And so she was also in the Penguin. She appeared in Penguins of Madagascar.
Penguins of Madagascar. What a diverse little lineup of gigs she's got.
So, but I just think she's so funny.
She is funny.
She's the reason why I watch Bunk.
Okay.
So,
Sure, Marshall.
all right.
Sure.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us here on the morning show for Hump Day. Now, if you have things maybe post Hump Day that you'd like to celebrate, please throw us a note, whether it is on Instagram at On The Morning Show, or you can even email us, hello@themorningshow.com. We love to hear from you. If you have events you want us to shout out, birthdays, anniversaries, pretty much you name it, we'll do it.
Will we?
I was going to say, wait a
That
minute.
is not a promise.
That's not a promise, nor is it a challenge to be like, okay, what can you send us that we may or may not do?
Yeah, let's.
Okay, temper.
Okay. All right.
Temper it. All right. And you'll want to check us out tomorrow. We have another fun show coming up tomorrow morning with you right here on The Morning Show.
We sure do. We'll see you Thursday morning.